Let's stay with the Tar Heels though. Stay with Luke Maye's former teammates, Joel Berry and Theo Pinson. Two NBA mock drafts have come out recently, with this week Sports Illustrated Jeremy Woo and Bleacher Report's mock draft. Both of them do not have Joel Berry or Theo Pinson being drafted into the NBA draft. Will Theo or Joel get drafted, and which one would you rather have on your team?
In the sense of
an NBA team, not college, of an NBA.
The modern NBA, I would want to have someone like Theo Pinson because he can switch off and he can guard almost all five. Probably he can guard to the 4 in the NBA. In college, he could guard to the 5. In the 4 in NBA, I'd put him at the 4. But I'd want to have Theo Pinson because he is a ball handler, he's a good defender, and he can be a facilitator. I love Joel Berry. He was great to watch in college, but I think Joel Berry is limited by this fact of his height, for one. I mean, that's always going to be one, but people can overcome that. His ability to facilitate, which he only averaged around 3.5 assists in his career for a point guard in the NBA. If you're not averaging at least 6 assists, 6-7 assists, then you're not dangerous enough at point guard, in my opinion. And then shooting percentage-wise, didn't shoot particularly well. Theo didn't shoot well himself. However, I'm not going to be playing Theo expecting him to shoot lights out. Joel Berry, I'm going to expect him to be able to come off the bench and hit me threes, but I'm not going to be able to have him defend anyone in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think any of them do get drafted. I think if you had to take one, you would take Theo Pinson. But let's talk about Joel Berry here. You know, he needs something to pride his game on. And what's one thing that would translate to the NBA with Joel Berry? And I don't know what that is, right? You said he's a point guard, but he only averaged 3 assists a game last year.
I think he can come off the bench and hit a couple of threes for you.
But he only shot 34% from 3 last year from the college line. Yeah, he's getting a lot of attention, but there's also nothing that showed me that he could be a good spot-up shooter. Because that's what he would be. Is if he came in, he would be a guy that would be on the wing or in the corner, and he would be expected to catch, shoot, hit a 3. I don't think he'd be able to do that. His form's a little bit wonky, and I think that would sort of create problems. It creates problems where he's not as consistent as he should be. He's not a consistent shooter. I think he's a good shooter, not a great shooter. And if you're coming into the NBA and you're undersized and you're not quite athletic enough, which that's what Joel Berry is, and he's not a pure distributor or a pure point guard, he's a scoring point guard. You need to be able to shoot the 3, or you need to be extremely athletic. Joel, he doesn't really check the boxes off of that. You know, obviously I want Joel to be great, and hopefully, you know, if people are telling him that in the NBA draft, he'll use that as motivation, but that's what I see in Joel right now. In terms of Theo, I like Theo a little bit more. If everything went well, you would hope that Theo Pinson could be like a Draymond Green player. He's lengthy, good defender, good rebounder, good passer. Like, he could play point guard, like Draymond Green sometimes does for the Warriors. Shooting is just an issue. But
Draymond's not even that great of a shooter himself.
But the issue is comparing him to Draymond Green is that's what you would hope Theo would turn into, but there's just a huge discrepancy between the players. So here, this is what Theo averaged his senior season at North Carolina, 10 points a game. He shot 47% from the field, which is pretty good, but only 22% from 3. That's the main one. And then 6.5 rebounds and 5 assists. All-around player, solid, but you look at Draymond Green, 16 points per game. That's almost 6 more than Theo. He averaged 10 rebounds a game, 4 more than Theo. And he had 3.8 assists. So he had a little bit less assists. He didn't quite play the distributing role like he does for the Warriors. But Draymond shot 39% from 3, 17% better than Theo Pinson. So I think that's the difference there. Is I think teams are going to look at that and say, where can we put Theo Pinson? Like, what type of player would he be? And I think Draymond Green would be the perfect player that he could mold into. Right, but he doesn't have the shooting capabilities that even Draymond had.
But shooting develops with time.
Right, but Draymond was labeled as a bad shooter coming in, and he still is a bad shooter in the NBA, but he still shot 39% in college from 3.
Also, Draymond was the number 1 offensive option for that. Theo's like the 4th
I mean,
scoring
Theo's
option.
still a leader for the team.
The fourth,
It's not.
fifth scoring option,
Cam,
maybe.
Joel was there, but Cam didn't play the
But
first half of the season.
I think he would be a great a poor man's Draymond Green. But get the job done.
But just where does a poor man's Draymond Green fit in the NBA? Like, I feel like Draymond Green is so
Green's
special.
an all-star.
But he's so special to the Warriors. If he signed that deal,
Well, then
with
if
the
you put
Pistons,
Theo
what
in a
would he have
system
been?
like that, he would produce.
Yeah, but he's not the same. But you can just
Well,
look at
why
the
not?
stats and see that he's not the same as
so?
Draymond Green.
Well, I mean, okay.
6 points a game, shooting's different, rebounds are different. You
Well,
know,
we have to
Draymond
think
turned
about-
into a great point guard in the NBA.
I mean,
Like,
let's
I think
reflect
that's
on the
similar.
fact that
I do also think that the leadership qualities are also similar with Draymond and Theo. I think that's where you see some parallels with Theo and Draymond. They're both great leaders. I think Theo would be great to have in the NBA
Theo's a better
team.
athlete too. I think he is a better athlete.
You might be right there, and Theo has the length. Theo could be a little bit. Yeah,
Draymond's
I don't know.
a little bit longer, but Draymond's. I'm gonna take Theo's athleticism over Draymond's.
Yeah, but Draymond's a top defender. But I think a lot of Draymond's defense is just mental, right? But Theo could do that. But just offensively, like, you need to be able to hit the open three in the NBA,
I agree.
regardless of what else you can do well, right? Like, they're both all around players. But that's where Theo has a greater potential than Joel. Like, if Theo can learn to shoot the three well, then there's a spot for him in the NBA. It's just whether or not he's going to do that. Joel, I don't know where Joel's going to get a lot better, right? Like, athleticism, you can't really change that. Theo has that. We have seen players get better shooting. Joel would have to get better shooting, so would Theo. So I think Theo's the better option, but I don't know, I would be surprised if any of them get drafted. Maybe Theo will find a team late in the second.
Drafted.
Yeah, I mean, I
think Roy did a good job maximizing those guys' potential on the college level, but I don't think they're going to get drafted.
Yeah, I mean, I think Theo maybe finds a team late second round. Theo will definitely. They'll both be on rosters. I think we can admit that. Someone's going to sign them.
Eventually, they'll be on rosters.
Yeah,
I think
like,
Joel's going to have to go through a little bit more through the D League and G League. Sorry, G League.
Yeah,
What
so
that has to do with anything.
I think with all the NBA playoffs,